Well, we are in a position where we know we're going to have to play extremely well tomorrow because Ohio State is clicking in all cylinders. I mean, their length poses an issue. We're going to have to be very good on the glass. We're going to be very good in transition defense. Those are all going to be crucial areas. They're running their offense very sound, and they're executing very well. And they can score inside and out, and they've got different guys that can do both. So they're confident. You can see that. They're getting better. They're playing outstanding defense. They pose a lot of problems, probably as much as any we've seen to this point with rim protection and being able to defend the paint. And there's no question that they're really good. I told the team when we played Duke, Duke was a very hard game in the sense because we were at Duke. They had a full team at that point. It was our first road game. We played Notre Dame. They were outstanding. But this is the best team we will have played thus far. And I don't think there's any question because of all that athleticism and skill and the fact that they're playing with a lot of confidence. So we need a great crowd of tremendous energy tomorrow, and hopefully we're going to have that. And we've got to play well, and we've got to be much better with our execution on both ends of the court for consistent periods of time than what we've been. We've had good stretches, but we've got to have longer ones, and both sides, both ends of the court are going to be crucial. But the number one thing to me is going to be the rebounding game because they're doing a great job of it, and we've got to make sure that we're in that fight too.
Tom, when did they? I think they started 4-5. Now they went 7 in a row. What have you seen in terms of the growth? Why are they better now than?
Well, I think they're just growing up. I think they're getting. The Kentucky win was a huge win for them because they really played with a lot of confidence on the road, and I think that brought them a ton. And probably a little bit like the Duke not the Duke, but the Notre Dame second half did for us. So, but they've got some good returners, and they really do. You know, Giddens and Jaquan Lyle and Mickey Mitchell are new to them, but those other guys have played some really quality minutes. And so I think they're really starting to mesh in and got that Ohio State look of really being tough in the half-court defense, taking away your driving lanes, and now they've got even better rim protection than what they've had in the past. So I think that's coming to life, and their screening on offense is outstanding. You know, they get good ball movement, they reverse it, they've got guys that can shoot. Like I said, they've got guys that can play inside and outside, but they get great movement because of the screening.
They seem pretty committed to letting Jaquan play through the ups and downs. I mean, when he's on, when he's really firing on all cylinders, what challenges does he kind of present to you guys?
Tremendous passer. And he's got great size and just great vision. He's always had it. He's always had it. You could see it when he was a ninth grader. He's got great vision, and he's very confident. He's confident with the ball. And I mean, if he was a quarterback, he'd be one of those guys that could make that back shoulder throw. He can throw it into that tight area, right, and execute the play. And he's that type of passer. So we've got to do a great job of not only playing him as a driver and a scorer, but as a passer.
Tom, this is an oddball question a little bit, but technology's improved in terms of being able to watch video and stuff. How much do you use that at halftime, and then even maybe if you can possibly do it during a timeout?
Well, I wish we could do it during a timeout. I wish we could put somebody on a headset and have somebody up top like they do in football. I think that would be outstanding. I really do. And but we don't use it at all during timeouts. We don't use it as much as you think during the halftime. You know, we have access to it, but we don't use it as much as you think. And sometimes we will. But we're trying that. It depends on what the point is made. We have it available to us, and we'll make sure during the game we're talking about what we want. But a lot of times it's just making a couple of quick adjustments and not inundating them with too much. But if there's a weak point area that we think is going to be, I usually make that a field decision for the most part. In the past I've used more, and I might tomorrow, but I mean it just kind of varies depending on the situation. But it is available and it is useful.
Last week Collins in here, and he said I think his words were things got a little wild after the Duke game, but he said that the guys really sort of rallied around you, that they found you as almost sort of a centering point. Have you gotten the response from those guys? Obviously, maybe an 8-game win streak speaks for itself, but have you gotten the response over the last month?
I don't know if it's that to me. I think it's being in the day. And that to me is the most important thing. And you left our film session yesterday, you wouldn't think we've won some games in the way that we have. I think it's really about being, I'm very confident in our team. I was confident after those games that we were going to get better. So it wasn't like I was putting an act on for them. I see a lot of room for improvement. And the winning is good, and you want to be able to continue to get better, obviously, and you want to be able to improve while you're winning, but the bottom line is we need to get better. And I think when you coach from that, it's a development program, and the key is that we keep developing. So to me, if I believe it, then there's really no reason that they shouldn't. And at the end of the day, I'm not trying to trick them into believing anything that I think is not there or something. I'm not trying to trick them into thinking that there's something that is there that we're not as good at. And you have to find ways to win the game, and I think that's the most important thing, and that's what these guys are doing. That's what they're learning to do. But the bottom line is there's a lot of room for improvement, and fortunately there's a lot of season left for us to get better. The key is that we max out every day, and sometimes the best thing to do is rest. Sometimes the best thing to do is just work with a small group. Sometimes the best thing to do is just do 2 or 3 things. Sometimes we go hard at it. It's a read every day, and I think that's the most important thing you can bring your team, is giving them what they need to be better each day and having a plan for the future, but not get too far ahead of yourself.
How do you keep Troy from pressing after maybe he gets in a little funk the last couple of games?
A lot of visits. We visit, we watch film, we work on his game constantly. We want him to believe how good he can be. It's really, for every one of our guys, it's about making the game simpler. And I'm not going to speak on behalf of other coaches, but you watch film and you can see, well, then he just did this or he just did that. The game would be so much easier. And I think it's really important to get your team to understand that. And Troy's decision making is still a huge thing. It's a huge thing, and he's got to continue to improve upon it. But I'm real concerned about energy level being high all the time, getting out and running, getting to the glass, being a ball mover, a body mover, being ready to shoot when he's open. There's so many things that go into it. So the key is you can't let them get distracted on 1 or 2 aspects or elements of the game. You just keep working on those, but you also keep showing them where they're bringing value. And I have a lot of belief in Troy, a lot of belief, because I've coached some guys that have been in that situation. They get going so fast, or the decision-making's got to improve, that you've got to help them see it from a little bit slower perspective. But at the end of the day, you don't want to harness somebody so much that you take their talent away from them. And that's the balancing act with a guy like Troy. But I visit with Troy a lot. During practice, after practice, film sessions, one-on-one and a team session, Troy is and he's not unlike the other guys, but there's no, well, we'll just figure it out as we go. We're trying to work to figure it out constantly. And he's very, very, the moment I'd be upset would be the moment that he wasn't as receptive. And I never see that. I never have any of that.
Coach, thank you so much.
All right, thank you.
Thanks, Tom.